Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. My hotel. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I am your sister with the curly braids, Vicki Dillard, and I'm so pleased to be with you here on my own channel at vickydillard.tv. I know many of you are used to seeing me on other platforms that I've helped to build over many years. And you have been wondering where in the world has Vicki been for lives. Yes, you'll continue to see my content in different places. But if you want to see me live a couple of times a week, let everybody know to join me here at vickydillard.tv, okay? Stay tuned for upcoming announcements on the different platforms where you'll be able to catch my content in one form or another, okay? Thank you so very much, family. I got to get to where we're going with the quickness, but I have to start off by saying I have a little bit of a ritual that as you come in, be sure to come in giving us a big thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share the broadcast. How many of you all know that when you do that, you make it more likely that other folks will know that we're here? You help to affect the algorithm so that you can strengthen our Black collective voice. How many of you all know that we have enough enemies as it is? We got enough people that's fighting, trying to censor, prevent, frustrate, and foil our efforts. We are not a part of the establishment. We are not a part of legacy media. Talk black to me, somebody. They consider us to be a threat. You all understand that we're able to use alternative media to spread our message. And how many of you all know that we're resonating? How many of you all know that we're making impact? How many of you all know that we are affecting politics as usual? We're affecting local and federal government. And if I'm being quite frank, at least Vicki Dillard, because I deal with both national and international news, geopolitical news, that we are not only controlling the narrative, we're not only changing the narrative, we are actually dictating world events. Talk black to me. Family, thank you so much for joining us. So as I count to three, I want you to hit that thumbs up button and share, share, share. Okay. 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Share, 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 share. Thank you so very much. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Now, family, you all know I have been doing back-to-back coverage for quite some time about different aspects that's going on in Chicago. You all know that Chicago truly is a heartbeat of the United States. It gives us great insight as to what's going on throughout the nation. Yes. And so we know that Chicago has large enclaves. And we also know that it has an extraordinary spiritual, political history. Are y'all hearing me today? Yes. I am so proud, as I have said many times before, of our brothers and sisters in Chicago that have been giving their government this absolute everlasting work. You guys have been organizing. You all have been exposing the agenda to replace Black folk in America and to make everybody a priority over us and to make everybody an enemy against us. Talk black to me. Talk black to me, somebody. Beam me up, said, I thought you were on Boyce's page. No, beloved, I am not. I helped to build some of those multiple platforms, beloved. But did you not hear the beginning of the broadcast? Rewind. That's why I've been starting over. I know many of you are used to seeing me over there, but I made it clear that you can't find me everywhere like that anymore. Yes, I'm going to be on different platforms, but that's not one of them. Talk black to me. There are going to be some legal announcements coming soon. So be sure to listen and to rewind and to watch consistently, okay? Thank you so very much, beloved. Thumbs up, family. Share, share, share. Be sure to subscribe to vickydillard.tv and tell everybody you know that your sister with the curly braids is on now. Yes? Talk black to me. Now, family, this is important because people love when the powers that shouldn't be want to distract and escape responsibility. When we call them out for the misappropriation of funds for white Afghans, for white Ukrainians, illegal wars around the world, known and unknown wars, declared and undeclared wars, when we call them out about the pandemic and how they spent trillions of dollars and immediately sent checks to majority of America. Talk black to me. When they deemed it in a matter of 5 minutes an emergency, but they pretend like they don't have the resources to give the true founding fathers and mothers of this country, the true makers and creators and builders of these United States of America, which are foundational Black Americans. Somebody say, that's us. When we see that you spend money, as I mentioned before, to white Afghans, Ukrainians, these wars, when we see that you have money for legal and illegal immigrants, when we see that you have funds to continue to benefit the oppressive class, talk black to me, somebody. When we see that you're able to fund, after hundreds of years, our open enemy, buying through individual families, particularly white families, and anti-Black oppressive corporations and companies and entities, when we see that they keep benefiting off of our free labor, yes, off of our intellectual prowess, we see that y'all just playing right in our face. Y'all just playing right in our face. When we see that when we run to the voting booth to vote for a Democrat, we see that you turn around to scheme and to conspire against us with other people groups. When we see that you break your neck, that in 1 year's time during the pandemic, the AAPI community, which stands for the Asian Pacific Island community, claimed that they were dealing with more racism and discrimination, and they claimed that they were having negative effects on their business. Your Democrat president, your Democrat Congress schemed and found a way without the need for passing a law. They just redirected $50 million that was sitting in the government specifically to the Asian community in 1 year's time. With overwhelming support, the Democrats and the Republicans pushed through a law just for Asians for protections for so-called discrimination. When the numbers came in, we found out that some of the Asians' numbers in some areas were statistically unchanged. And we found out that actually some of the numbers were fudged to the point to where they had to go and actually amend some of the numbers from the original numbers that they reported. And of course, we know this, of course, that at the end of the day, the number one group that is the most discriminated against is still Black people. But how is it in 1 year's time your government magically found $50 million that was already in the government, so they didn't need Congress to pass that for money? But then the Republicans and Democrats, who can't agree on nothing but Zionist agendas that run America, that's the only thing Republicans and Democrats both equally agree on, where you can find almost unanimous and dang near 100% support, is anything that has to do with the Zionist agenda, because a foreign government infects and unduly influences the United States government because they give billions of dollars, and I probably should say millions in terms of a year's time, but I wouldn't doubt, and I would venture to say that it wouldn't be out of the question to say billions over years, that your government officials have been bought off. So the reason why they overwhelmingly agree on both sides of Zionist agendas is because they take money from these Zionists. Talk black to me. Somebody, Monique said, no, it's billions annually. Yes, sis. Talk black to me. I wouldn't doubt it, but I was just saying billions over several years, but you said billions at the end of the year, okay? Thumbs up, family. Share, share, share. So this is important for you to understand. So when you hear me talking about foreigners, I want you to know that your sister with the curly braids, I'm looking at this in the larger aspect. I feel like that we have an unlawful and an unethical invasion, not just from folks that's crossing the border. Talk black to me. I'm talking about foreigners that's planted and installed in very strategic positions throughout these United States of America. And that's running those that are supposed to speak for you, those that you elect. But they're not doing your bidding. They're doing the bidding of these Zionists. Talk black to me, somebody. So when I'm talking about illegal immigration, when I'm talking about foreigners, I want you to know that I'm looking at it in from a geopolitical lens, because it is absolutely outrageous. And I'm going to continue to remind you, as I did years ago and as I did a few months ago on multiple platforms. No, I'm not going to stop talking about this. What? When the Israeli consul said, and they caught her on video a few years ago, before this October 7th brouhaha over there in Palestine, an Israeli government official said in a meeting that Black American youth, they didn't say just Black people in general, Black youth in general. No, she specifically said Black American youth are a threat to Israel. Now, how in the hell are we sending them billions and billions of dollars, geopolitical welfare, to this foreign country? What the hell are we sending billions of dollars to a foreign country for 7 some odd decades? Think about that. And we claim that that's the quote unquote only democracy over there in the Middle East, which we know that they are the colonizers over there. They are sitting up on land, stealing land and murdering people that they ain't got no business murdering. Talk black to me. This government that we support with our very Black taxpayer dollars. Somebody just said 70 years. Baby, do you know how long they've been in existence? That's how long we've been funding them for most of their existence. So it's approximately, they're over 70 some years, but approximately that. Almost their entire existence. Every year. Thank you all for your beautiful compliments. Shout out to our moderators that's in the digital building. Our moderators are highlighted in blue. They're going to be putting important information in the chat. And family, I got a link also pinned at the top of the chat, because my new mastermind school, which I'm so excited about, starts on my 45th birthday, which is January 2nd, in just a few days. Join my email list there. All you need to do is go to the website, scroll to the bottom of the screen, make sure we have your email list. And that way, when the link goes live, my team will send you the direct registration link. It's only $45. You can't beat that with a stick. And my teachings will absolutely shape your life. Give me 12 months, 12 mastermind courses, and all kind of other benefits that you're going to get to shape your life. Spirituality is so very important, beloved. Let me tell you something. When you have a higher perspective, a spiritual perspective, when you're tapped into an unseen counsel that can actually be seen, but just with different senses, which means that you have access to higher wisdom and higher intelligence. How many of you all know that intelligence and information and certain types of data is so profound, so potent, and can be so dangerous that your government actually classifies it? Really, all governments. And how many of you all know that to access certain information within government, you got to have a certain level of clearance? And that information is not, certain types of information is not just for the masses to consume. How many of you all know that intelligence is so important that there's an extraordinary price and surveillance for those that are given the privilege of receiving that information? Why am I bringing that up? Because information can change the seasons of your life, as I heard someone say. And so this type of spiritual intelligence would change the way you move in the world. Talk black to me. A prophet, one of the ancient mystics, said that my people perish not for lack of money, not for lack of access, not for lack of power, but for lack of knowledge. So certain types of knowledge is what can take you to the next level. And we're not talking about just head knowledge. A lot of you know a lot of book stuff. You can recite a lot of stuff, but that's just speculative. That's just head knowledge. What we want to move into is experiential knowledge, knowledge that you can actually embody and shape your world. And this is meant for an elite VIP group of folks over 12 months. I'll give you 12 masterminds to absolutely transform your life. So be sure to click that link, join my email list, and all you need to do is wait in the next upcoming days. Check your emails, and my team will send you the direct link, okay? Only $45. Make the decision. Don't tell me you're looking forward to manifesting it. Everybody can afford practically $45. Talk black to me. That's right, beloved. Dr. Davis said 9 ether. That's right. And I have had supernatural encounters with messengers. So I get my stuff from a higher authority anyway. God, today, to help you manifest destiny. VickiPlanet.com, VICKIPlanet.com. Again, the link is pinned below, above. I won't be before you long, but I will be strong. I promise you. I won't be before you long. Check out my latest several live videos, family, where I'm talking about what's going on in Chicago. You know, months ago, I did interviews with some of the Chicago principals there, talking about the agenda when they tried to fire all these Black male principals because they intentionally want those schools to be destroyed. We talked about also that there was a gentrification agenda that was going on in Chicago, even with the way they were doing the schools and firing Black principals and Black school officials at the word of lion wonder oppressives. The agenda is vast. You all know that folks like Jesse Jackson, even Minister Farrakhan, you all know that Barack Obama and others is a major spiritual, religious, and political enclave in Chicago as well. So this is just not natural, normal stuff that's happening in that region. I need you to understand that. There's something that's unseen that's happening. And this is the reason why Chicago is so pivotal. So when we're discussing the immigration issue, the illegal immigration issue, it certainly isn't because Black folks hate other people. We're bringing this up like never before because my people are finally waking up and spilling the begonias to recognize that this is an agenda to invade the country with new allies who would be more amenable to white supremacists, Democrats, and Republicans. Did you hear what I just said? Nobody in their right mind, under any circumstances, on any day, can ever accuse legitimately a foundational Black America of being racist or hateful of anybody. No, we are the ones that have given more, shed more blood, and done more than anybody else. And we built this. Talk Black to me. Somebody put in the chat, hashtag uncheckable. So nobody gets to check us about nothing. We're the most peaceful, kind, loving, let you spit in our face. Too many of us have been nonviolent in the face of violence and illegality and unethical, godless, blasphemous, anti-Black action against us. So nobody on no day can say this is hate in our heart. No, when we call out these things, we're calling out your agenda to replace us. When we call out these things, we are embarrassing you. We are checking you because we're proving in no limit of time that you prioritize and you put billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars behind a people who are not only not citizens, who not only didn't build this country, but who actually are criminals, broke the law to get here. And America changes legally the name of these criminals to dreamers, while they call Black citizens and the children of slaves criminals. Foley David, your gift is blessed, beloved, 1,000-fold. Thank you for your cash app. And for those who ask, the way that you can support financially is also, I believe, pinned above. So this is what you all have to understand. This is not about hating on nobody. No, this is about exposing an agenda that has many moving parts and that spends our very Black taxpayer dollars on everybody but us. So the moment we call that out, y'all try to change the narrative and say, oh, they hateful, they racist. No. We're not going to let you. That dog don't hunt over here. We don't suffer from low self-esteem. And we're not absolving nobody and nothing. You are lion wonder is what you are. And we're exposing your agenda. That is the talking point, family. Now, Vicki, get to where you're going. She said upside down, and we're turning it right side up. Ashe sis. Talk Black to me. Who's that? Somebody said, Sun Craig said, yes, ninja. I mean that. Because it's a bunch of ninjas and stuff around this feet. God, today, they got us messed up. It's a new day, baby. And we're just getting started. Now, I brought up Israel earlier because an Israeli official said that Black American youth are a threat to Israel. We give them billions of dollars every year. We claim that they're our #1 Democratic ally, which that's a lie from the pit of the hell that they created in your minds. That doesn't exist. That's a big fat lie. But Congress held no hearings. Derek, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Congress held no hearings when their so-called top ally, who uses our black dollars, says that Black American youth are a threat to their country. Your government held hearings, plural, recently from different committees talking about the so-called rise in anti-Semitism. There's no reason for us to even talk about that, Black family. Because ain't none of us got nothing to do with that. None of us need to be sitting up here talking about, oh, there's a rise in what? No, there's a rise in anti-Black racism, silly, including from Israel, who said that Black American youth are a threat to their country. Your Congress held hearings about what if somebody threatened to take them out. But your government never held a hearing to call Israel to the carpet to say, why in the hell, not just regular citizens, but a government consul official, why would she say that Black American youth, target Black American youth and say that they are a threat to your entire country? And nobody said nothing. You got both Republicans and Democrats that's doing the bidding of a foreign government. And your weak Black caucus, your weak Hakeem Jeffries, your weak Gregory Meeks, I'm specifically mentioning them because they're in particular positions. Number one, Hakeem is backed by these Israeli PACs, which a lot of the Blacks are, but especially him. He gets a disproportionate amount of money. And if I remember correctly, I was reading up on Hakeem Jeffries. I believe since he was a young man, he was a part of their agenda. So they really helped to groom him a certain way politically. So that's why you see his funny looking self from New York doing too much in terms of cheerleading a foreign government. You see Black caucus members jumping on a plane some months ago before October 7th to meet with Netanyahu at a time where even Biden wasn't meeting with him. Because Israelis have been demonstrating for a long time by the hundreds of thousands, literally the hundreds of thousands, to kick Netanyahu out, saying basically he's a dictator and he's trying to destroy their government. That October 7th Hamas incident is what helped to temporarily save him, even though they still hate him. And most say that after this is over, they're still going to kick him out. And by the way, Netanyahu is a criminal, and he is dealing right now with 3 open criminal cases. Can you imagine if Putin had 3 criminal cases, what your government would be calling him? So I'm still putting it on y'all to contact your Congress people to say, why haven't you all, our sister with the curly braids, Vicki Dillard, wants to know, and you all give them this link. You remind them, how is it that a few years ago, the Israeli consul said Black American youth are a threat to their country, and they haven't held any hearings, but y'all want us to pretend like that other people groups are dealing with discrimination in the way that we are. No, we're not going to change subjects from Black folks as the priority. Just want to throw that out there. Side note. So that's an invasion, a foreign invasion tip. I'm just throwing it out there because I'm not going to let that situation die. And I'm putting it on you all to contact your Congress people. I'm putting it on you to contact the relevant individuals, to tag them, to email them, to show up to these places and to make these demands so we can keep our issue front and center. Whenever America's attention, whenever the world's attention turns to somewhere else, you got to put yourself in the middle of it, because y'all still be sitting up here talking about why Black folks are forgotten and everybody talking about everybody but us. No, you got to wake up and smell the begonias. When they start making everybody else a priority, you insert yourself in it. Vicki, get to where you're going. So Black folks, who are the most loving, kind, sweet people, realized the anti-Black agenda by flooding this country with unlawful immigrants. So we've been holding y'all accountable all over the country. And y'all don't like it because we're politically engaged in a way that you don't like. The only type of political engagement they want Black folks to be engaged in is when Democrats say show up to vote. Pick Joe Biden, take your tail home. That's what they tell you. If you go to thinking too much, if you go to showing up to city council meetings too much, like y'all been doing, when you go strategizing about who you're going to vote for, who you're going to listen to, and what needs to be on both the Republican and Democrat plans, what they're going to do specifically for Black folks economically and in terms of protection and so forth, then they get mad at you. They don't just get mad at you, the Democrats, who's supposed to be your friends, the one that we keep in office, the ones we keep in power. The Democrats start to engage in anti-democratic tactics to silence Black voices. How many of you all saw the broadcast I did some days ago where I showed you all that the Democrats got so upset because of how effective Black Chicagoans were showing up to all of these city council meetings? You all were giving them so much hell. Your political engagement was so outrageous. It was so consistent. It was so respectful, and it was so effective. And they're so scared that it's going to catch on throughout the states. How many of y'all know I already talked about this before? This is not the broadcast I'm getting ready to do. I'm just reminding you of a few things because I don't want nobody thinking somebody sitting here talking about we hate foreigners. No, that's not what this is about. We love everybody. We talking about the agenda to replace us, fool. How many of you all remember me showing you this headline? Go back and watch all of my lives. You all know that YouTube some months ago changed the way you can see the videos. So uploaded videos are on one place, live videos on another, shorts is on another. So go to my live videos and watch all of them. And you can also go to a lot of my replays there as well. What does that say? It says Chicago officials suspend rules limiting access to city council meetings after outcry. I talked about this days ago because I wanted you all to know how devilish the Democrats are when Black folks get politically engaged. So, you know, when Roland Martin and the rest of these ridiculous knuckleheads, these Black talking heads, the Joy Reids and all of them try to tell Black folks how they need to show up to vote and engage in the government. No, they don't really want you engaged in the government like this. They don't want you holding your politicians accountable. Because when you get engaged for real, you change stuff. And you mess up those that pay them, those that sent them to do their bidding. Revised rules designed to limit access to where members of the public can sit during meetings of the Chicago City Council will not be implemented Wednesday after an outcry by good government advocates and warnings that the rules were likely illegal. Y'all listen. This is what they did. They made new rules to stop y'all. Now, this piece came out the 12th after the original proposal, because I think I told y'all in that broadcast too, there was a governmental agency, a government watchdog agency that said that what Brandon Johnson did, his administration, was likely illegal. Y'all listen to what they did. The Better Government Association, a 100-year-old group, that's the group I was talking about before, that advocates for good government and transparency, warned Mayor Brandon Johnson. Actually, I thought this was a different article, but this one talks about the same point. Warned Mayor Johnson Monday that the new rules, quote, violate the spirit and likely the letter of the state law. It says that he reversed course Tuesday, averting a showdown at Wednesday's city council meeting. No new rules will be implemented or enforced, spokesperson Ronnie Reed said. We appreciate the feedback. Now watch this. Don't y'all ever let the Democrats live this down. Guess what those new rules propose in part? Number one, you all would not be allowed to have that access to one of the main floors. Then you all had to show your ID, your government issue ID. Another point somebody made already. Remember, the Democrats got mad when the Republicans say that you have to show ID to vote. But it was the Democrats that said, hell, you got to have a government ID to even come to a city council meeting. that has to do with you deciding whether or not you want illegal activity and illegal immigration, or whether or not you want your city to be a sanctuary city. No, I'm not going to let you forget that this was their proposal. But they're upset with you because you all thwarted it. You thwarted their agenda to use that 67,000 square foot building. You thwarted their attempts to use one of the parks as a migrant residency, a housing, temporary housing. They're upset because you get in the way when you get involved. Do you understand that this is the power of attention? Now, many of you have seen our back-to-back coverage. I'm on another platform as well, another network and different platforms. Even though I'm not on others, I'm still on some different ones. Watch this. One of the things I was hearing, and some of you all were saying this left and right, and of course I have an insider that made it clear to me anyway that the mayor knows who we are. I got receipt and all that, so of course they know who we are. Not just no little mayor who's a flunky for a white supremacist Democrat Party. Of course I know he knows us. Duh. Watch. They punish you, is what I want you to understand. And they work to silence you. And when you get too close, you're going to peep game that whatever issue you were crying about, whatever issue you were focused on, is bigger than what you actually thought. I brought up the power of we who are independent alternative Black media, because what we have found is that the talking points that some of you were making were talking points that you were listening from. That's proof that you were listening to us, because we know Joy Reid isn't talking like us. We know that Roland Martin and the rest of those subterranean entities aren't saying what we say. People kept sending us footage and clips and saying they sound like you. And more than that, we were receiving acknowledgments specifically that I listened to you. There are some pretty high profile people that listen to your sister with the curly braids that privately support me, and I would never ever tell. There are Congress folks who have shook my hand to tell me, I listen to you. So don't ever get it twisted. And as it's written, don't ever despise small beginnings. And I never do, because I know the potency of our message and its ability to spread and to hold. And watch this, to grow over time. See, when you grow from the ground up, when your roots are sufficient, baby, you can withstand a whole lot of stuff. And it's going to outlast, even though in the beginning it seems small and insignificant. Y'all ain't hearing me. And that's a spiritual principle. And some of you all don't rock. You don't do well like that because you don't understand that's a spiritual capacity to be able to be unacknowledged, to be disrespected, to be lied to, for your work to be stolen, for people to feed off of your energy, to live off of it, to be inspired by it in ways that they can't even quantify. And to be changed by it. That's some power. And when you don't recognize it in seed form, do you know you aborted? Because you didn't recognize our power in its first trimester. You understand? Vicki, get to where you're going. Don't ever forget that they tried to impose all of these rules to prevent you from going to city council meeting because you were so affected. They're pissed off at you all because you've stopped them using buildings and parks. Guess what's going on now? A part of the objections that many of you all were already aware of, but if you said it early on, they would say it was racist. Watch this. This is the point of my broadcast, and I'm hurrying up here because I got to get ready to go. I've got another appointment, believe it or not, on this day. What does this say? This particular article Just came out 4 days ago. What is this head? I'll be trying to turn it, but a certain way so you can see the whole thing. Family, what does this headline say? Let me fix it where you can see it. Can you all see this headline? What does this headline say, family? That's Mayor Brandon with his funny looking self. What does the headline say, family? What did the headline say? Did y'all see that? Did you all see that headline? Somebody said, yes, they see it. Okay, watch this. Everybody hit that thumbs up button, beloved. Share, share, share. If you're just coming in, thank you so much for tuning in. And by the way, family, be sure to check out my pin link up there so that you can make sure that you're a part of my email list so that when the Vicki Dillard Mystery School launches, which is my monthly mastermind school for only $45 a month, you'll receive the direct link. My team will send you the link in a few days just before January 2nd. January 2nd, which is my birthday, my 45th birthday, which is why it's only $45, is when class starts. Your life will never be the same. Y'all saw the headlines, right? Okay, look at this. Let me read a little bit of it. After boy dies in Chicago shelter, mayor says migrants are arriving sick. Black constituents, Chicagoans, and of course we know this is a phenomenon that's not just there in New York and other places and other large Black enclaves. Black folks have been calling this madness out. We've already brought up the fact that this is one of the possibilities that was absolutely dangerous. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because I'm trying to let you all know that when America shut down all of its 50 states and businesses, when they destroyed businesses, destroyed homes, destroyed jobs, when they forced people to foreclose or to be evicted, lose their cars and their homes. Talk black to me, somebody. You look up now and half of the retail businesses are gone when you go downtown. The reason why some folks call it a pandemic, we know you can't be serious that you were concerned about a serious disease spreading and taking hold when you have willfully, knowingly open borders. And like I talked about the other day, which is why I keep telling you to be sure to check out my past broadcast. I did a whole broadcast on the fact that your senator, Nakaya, I hope I said your name right, your gift, your cash app is blessed 1,000-fold. I did a whole broadcast the other day showing you a recent clip of Senator Dick Durbin, which is, by the way, one of Illinois senators. I hope y'all know there's no accident. That here it is in Chicago, Illinois, that y'all stirring up all kind of hell because of the unlawful illegal immigration. But one of your senators is on the floor the other day talking about we need to give legal status to all the illegals who serve in the U.S. military. And we're going to give them, he said, citizenship. And of course, we know very likely a whole bunch of other goodies. Think about that. These are Democratic senators that's saying, let's give clean records to illegals who serve in the military. Everybody keeps saying they can't believe the flood of illegals that have absolutely surged. No, what you mean you can't believe it? When you got Democrats, politicians, and the president out there telling them to come on over and talking about all the wonderful benefits and they're going to give them for coming here. Back to this article. I already discussed New York, actually on African Diaspora News Channel. I did it days ago. They recently posted it over there on one of the other networks I'm on, where I was discussing that in New York, the New York government officials there talked about how migrants over there are bringing diseases, but they made all the migrants' faces in the clip Black faces. That's the other agenda I was trying to tell some of our Black brothers and sisters that come from the diaspora. Don't ever go against Foundation of Black Americans, because they're going to use you as a trick in one way or another later. That whole piece that they did in that segment, the image that they primarily used were the darkest, most melanated faces that they could find and blame them for the diseases. That's why I'm saying it never pays to go against Foundation of Black Americans. BBC, I heard that too. Now watch this. I talked about that days ago, but this is happening in Chicago. Listen, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson told reporters this week that migrants are arriving in the city with illnesses after questions arose following the death of a 5-year-old boy at a migrant shelter. 5-year-old Jean Carlos Martinez was a resident at a shelter in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood when he suffered a medical emergency, then was pronounced dead shortly after arriving at Comer Children's Hospital on Sunday afternoon, the city said. 6 more people living in the shelter, 4 children and 2 adults, were hospitalized this week. While city officials on Tuesday dismissed the notion of an outbreak at the shelter, there have been clusters of illnesses at other shelters, y'all listening, where people sleep on cots close to each other, listen, including chickenpox and hand, foot, and mouth disease. Quote, people are showing up in very extreme circumstances, very, very unhealthy. I want you to hear me good. They're showing up sick, Johnson said Monday. Do you hear me? They're showing up sick. The issue is not just how we respond in the city of Chicago. This piece goes on to talk about how over 25,000 migrants have crossed the U.S. southern U.S. border illegally and have arrived in the city over the past 15 months. Roughly 10,000 have been resettled in their own places. How many Black Chicagoans have their own places? Are there 10,000 Black Chicagoans that have their own places in the past 15 months? I was supposed not to scream today. Chicago recently instituted a 60-day limit for shelters, with the first batch of evictions taking effect next month. Johnson went on to blame Texas Governor Greg Abbott, saying that the governor of Texas needs to look into the mirror for the damage he's causing to this country. This is not just a Chicago dynamic. No, it's y'all's fault. When you run out here and twitch and twirl talking about you are a sanctuary city, and you got another governor that don't believe in that, you need to open up the sanctuary because you said you was that. The reason I'm calling this out is because why didn't Brandon Johnson say this a long time ago when the Black Chicagoans, and to be honest, there's a whole lot of other melanated citizens, white citizens and all that too, that's complaining about this problem. Now you're seeing all kind of Mexicans and Hispanics that got here legally. They're showing up to city council meetings and they calling them out, saying too that they are seeing them violate the law. They were telling some of the city officials they out there smoking weed and doing all kind of illegal stuff. And of course, when you violate the law and illegal, you do other illegal stuff. That ain't out the question, but it is brazen. And it just shows that we know America has an agenda. And we know that the pandemic was a big fat joke, and you can't be worried about truly some serious disease spreading when you have willful open borders and the local government knew that there were diseases that's being spread. Why didn't Brandon Johnson mention this early on when Black folks were objecting for multiple reasons why this was dangerous? How many of y'all remember many moons ago, Black Chicagoans were saying how they were concerned also because some of them were dangerous for their own neighborhoods. They were complaining not only because of the money and the housing accommodation and the other local governmental goodies that they got, tangibles, non-stop tangibles. They hit the lottery. But they were talking about how they were a danger to their neighborhoods. Why is it that Brandon Johnson didn't bring that up early on about the danger of bringing them in? Because y'all aren't scanning them for no disease. There's a big fat agenda that's underway. And to prove that they don't care about you, Black family, they are willing to allow this to happen and for mass infections to take place. And they get to jump in front of the line. They get to butt in front of the line. So now y'all need to be calling him out, not only because there are attempts to shut you down and silence you by changing these rules, not only lying and calling you racist and all these other names, not only doing all of these obstructive forms of sabotage. This is the legal mind of Vicki Dillard. I'm giving you Chicago some. I'm thinking somebody needs to be filing some reports or looking into what in the world went on and when did the city know this. I'm saying, does anybody have a case in Chicago to sue the city because they willfully and knowingly put these people out there knowing that they can get the whole legal citizenship? I'm just saying, I'm gonna need my legal minds, or for real legal minds, to tell me, should your city be getting ready to be sued for another reason? Because Black Chicago has already been suing y'all over these illegal immigrants. But I'm saying you might have another case, because the question becomes, when did they know that they were bringing in these diseases? Why they sitting there fighting you when you said we don't want this illegal activity in our neighborhoods and stuff? Linus Dean said, we've initiated some of this in our city. Good, beloved. I'm saying this is another aspect, another case. This is another case. He's sitting up here admitting now that they bring in diseases, that the city knew about it. And the only reason he's admitting it now, y'all, is because his other Democrat, Hispanic brothers and sisters are beating him up because he was not effective in silencing Black folks' criticism of the migrant crisis. And it's getting out of hand. Now they're going to try to put the death of this unfortunate death of this child, which nobody celebrates, on him. So now to get this off of him, he's sitting up here finally admitting, oh, they've been coming sick. But you all been fighting to keep them here, and you've been pointing your fingers in Black citizens' faces and telling them to shut up and go to hell. I'm saying your city, y'all may need to look into other ways. Somebody said this is off topic, but Vicki, you look glamorous. Thank you, precious. Family, I'm just telling y'all, this is another thing y'all need to be throwing out there for the city to hold their funny looking self accountable. You got to believe in a salvo. That means that you unleash a military strategy from the air. Talk Black to me, somebody. From the ground and the sea, from all directions, all at the same time. Yeah, sue them about the park, sue them about the school, sue them about getting money first, sue them about all that. Now add this on there, a public health threat that the city was indifferent, knew willfully, concealed it, did not properly notify the public. God, today. Thank you for this admission, Brandon Johnson. Thank you for this admission. Like I told y'all, I did this broadcast days ago about New York. Somebody may need to go ahead and file that suit and start investigating and scrutinizing now. I gotta go, family. My name is Vicki Dillard. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have to report this. I'm only simply here giving you more ammunition. I'm giving you the information that you need. Now you need to see what can you do practically to affect change in whatever way that is. It all matters. Thank you so much, of course, for sharing the broadcast. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to hit the receive all notifications. Be sure also to join my email list. The link is above at VickiPlanet.com. Join my email list so that way you're notified about all the wonderful things that we're doing, especially my mastermind school, the Vicki Dillard Mystery School, that's launching officially January 2nd. But you'll get the link right before that from my team. But the only way you get the link is if you are part of our email list, okay? So hit that link. Just go to my website, scroll to the bottom of the screen to make sure that we have your email in our system. That's all you need to do, and be checking your email in the upcoming days, okay? I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. We're shaping the world. You are the new world shakers and the history makers. You matter, and you make matter. Beloved, power in this season is coming from the ground up, and that's you. Those that they say are nobodies, those that have records, those that are not smart enough in their eyes, those that don't have the hookup, those that are not a part of the system and the establishment. You are the new world rulers. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see you again.